to 5. Bottom right hand side, blue Zerg player from Team Liquid in this Team Liquid kill. Last match was a Kaiser kill. This is a Liquid kill. It's Elazer. Top left, Red Terran, Team Liquid's Clem. Not looking so hot against Raynor earlier, but honestly, I mean, he was playing some pretty good games. Just there was that one game he was also ahead in and then kind of lost out towards the very end. Was unfortunate, so we'll see what happens here as these two meet up. Again, like I say, an elimination best of 5. Cracks at the front from Clem. Wow, he's really enjoying these Reaper openings, huh? He used to Reaper opening against Raynor earlier as well. A very Elazer thing to do, and Clem's just cranking it out himself here. Very fun. Reaper starts up, second rack's on the way. Get this set to begin. Means we're going to 3 racks Reaper to open this game up. See how well Clem can make this work. See if his micro will be stellar enough to put us into a strong position with this right from the start. Spine crawl of Elazer, starting back at home, so he's not messing around on his defense. Makes sense. The spine really is a very good thing to have here. It's very difficult for these Reapers to ever fight a spine crawl, right? So we'll do a ton of zoning to stop the Terran being able to keep on attacking. Yeah, I like it a lot, actually. It makes a lot of sense to me. 10 out of 10 choice. That's not good. 10 out of 10 choice spine. 0 out of 10 choice losing 2 Reapers and killing nothing yourself. This is pretty much worst case scenario for Clem on this opening. CC's delayed, you get nothing done, there's a spine up, so you can't even hope to get more done with a low Reaper count after this. This is anything but brilliant to start out with, at the very least, as we're just going to be seeing. MP Reapers heading down the bottom side. Trying to hop up in towards the main, trying to see what will be going on. Just going to pull them back away to the upper left-hand side and just go from there. Yeah, I mean, it's rough, right? I mean, this is not the start you're looking for. It's a very fast left from Elazer, which I kind of like, because I feel like off this opening, I wonder if, like, he might just go, like, super fast Spire, because obviously he's expecting the Reapers to keep him away from a third for a while. So he could go, like, 2 base Spire on 2 base Mutas, but I almost wondered as well if he could. I mean, he's got too much gas for it now, but initially I was like, man, he just defended the first Reaper so well. What if he just 2 base Niduses or something, right? Just Queenling Nidus. Obviously, with all these extra gases, absolutely not going to happen anymore, but I wonder how much of a possibility that could have been. Spire does start now, and so it's going to be the nice quick Mutas coming up. As Clem is already on his way to Marine production, Stimpack building as well. Again, rough lower match here as Elazer lost a spirit in a very cheesy series. Proxy racks, some aggressive 2-on-1 stuff, one longer game. But lost that series, obviously ends up here against Clem. It's just a tough draw, but I'd say the good news is that it's not like Clem is unbeatable for Elazer, and Elazer sometimes has these streaks where he does very well against Clem, I feel like. There's definitely a couple of open cups where, out of nowhere, it felt like Elazer won a couple times in a row against Clem. It's like, whoa, here we go. I believe that was between Christmas and New Year's, just gone, so about 8 months ago. But, yeah, in general, definitely something kind of cool. do watch out for. Reaper's gonna start to move forward just a little bit. Marine's coming across as well. As we begin to head down to this bottom right-hand side, and do have that spine crawler is going to begin burrowing up. So, spine's starting to burrow. The queen's coming through. And this first attack of Clem, I mean, honestly, it had potential to be scary because obviously you're building mutas and they're not out yet. The problem is, once these units get forced into the medevacs, if you then have the mutas showing up, Clem could be in a ton of trouble. He'll stand in fight now. He'll see no drones in this base, and I wonder if he thinks that's weird for any reason. And here come the Lings now. Like I said, you just can't pick up into these medevacs. When these mutas are here, he will do so. He will have the boost to give him a bit of space initially. Can unload high ground, but he will end up having a fight. There's just no doubt about it. Loses one medevac, half full of units, and I think this game might just be a bit of a write-off for Clem. Started badly with the Reaper losses, continues badly with his medevac losses. I mean, he might not even matter if he wants to leave the game or not. He might be forced to leave the game with these units running his way. Elazer is going to take game number 1 of this best of 5. 6.5 minutes on Moondance. We have got in the bottom left-hand corner of the map a blue Zerg player that takes the lead. It is Elazer. Against the red Terran in the upper right corner from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Okay, number 2 then. And obviously, I mean, just expecting a more normal start to this game right from the very get-go. I would be very surprised to start seeing Reapers on Data C anyways, but obviously with the way that last game went, I imagine Clem is pretty much just going to keep it straight and honest from here on out. For the foreseeable future, at least, would be my guess. Hatch gas pool all the way out here from Elazer. It's nothing weird from him. No cool thirst, no potential kind of like blind roach attack or anything, which absolutely can be a possibility, can be something you mix in, right? Even on Data C, which you can absolutely catch your opponent off guard, because why would they be expecting it? It's a popular CC first map, right? Maybe roll the dice a bit, you get 1-0 up in the lead. Roll the dice a bit for game 2. Yeah, obviously people do that sometimes, but in this case, not the case. Hatch gas and pool is the plan for now, and we just continue with that. Obviously, we just saw the 40-minute game between Reno and Spirit on this map. Would not be against a non-40-minute game. Well, it's cool to see some Clem late game. I'm kind of okay if the games last like 20 minutes or so instead of 40 minutes. That seems pretty reasonable to me. So yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, sometimes those 40-minute games just take a little while to get going as well, right? We have that there's definitely that down period where you're just waiting for the fight to happen as well, so kind of more hoping for some real back and forth, non-stop action, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, go from there. We're going to pick away at the hatchery, a little bit more damage being dealt as we just have nothing really else to do, I suppose, at the moment. May as well just ping the hatchery for a little bit. Obviously just trying to keep an eye on what's at the front, see if there's anything moving out. Just pieces of information you might be able to gather here. As well, pick up what you can. He's coming over. Reaper is going to dodge around them. He wants to kind of get by again just to see if he can find anything else. This was a little bit too aggressive, so it's the end of the Reaper. Not too sad, obviously. I mean, I feel like that Reaper's picked up decent information. I felt like he was still trying to just gather information here as well. Usually the Reaper can join up with the Hellions and be a little bit annoying, but very minor thing. And in this case, I don't think it's going to matter too much at all. The one Ling gets a great scout, by the way. Holy crap. 3CC, Cloak Banshees, all figured out. Talk about information. There's so much information right there. That's incredible. I can't really get much better than that when it comes to gathering info early in the game. So yeah, Elazer shouldn't really be caught off guard by anything. He knows it's pretty eco-focused. He can see the fact that it's going to be a Banshee, so he should at least have spores ready. Queen's in position. And once again, he's going to go lair first. Now, obviously, this is not as fast a lair as last time around. This is a much more reasonably timed lair. This is a lair that's not going to get a Banelin Nest straight away, just for the fact that he doesn't need it straight away. He'll probably get a Banelin Nest in about 15 seconds or so, and then once the lair is done, you can pretty much go directly into the production of Banelin speed. So I would imagine that's the rough timing the Elazer's going to aim for here. He's taking some extra gases, going up to 3 right now. There's that Banelin Nest like I talked about at the sort of timing I was mentioning. So that seems very standard. The first Banshee showing up will get a couple of drone kills. Whoever I'm observing there is going to take Clem's camera for a moment, apparently. Let's see how Hellions are still cruising around then. Going to try and find a little bit more damage here or there, but still nothing too crazy just yet as Hellions get around the bottom. A couple of Banshees going to hit the Queens, and Hellions will get through. One creep tumor already picked off. This Queen also going to go down. Is going to come back over this side. This Queen also going to get picked away at here. And just going to be seeing these Banshees keep on dealing some damage. Like I say, not really getting mineral lines, not really doing too much, but slowly making some progress. Little bits and pieces. Honestly, a lot of the creep spread being cleaned up from those Hellions as well on the top side. So again, a lot of the creep is a pretty big deal, right? Being able to clean out so much of this. That's really nice. 5 drones died of a laser, so the Banshees also again putting in some work down the bottom side and just a team effort for these early units. The Banshees will cloak here. Obviously, Overseer's nearby though. They just want to try and get away. It's a natural instinct, right? You cloak just in case the Overseer flies too far away, just in case it makes the difference, you know, so we'll play that, nothing too crazy. There's Overlord. I was going to say Medivacs might need to stay nearby to kill it for the high ground vision, but actually wasn't really all that bad in the end, I suppose. Did grab it pretty quickly, and here's the first push of Clem. Army supply is way up for him right now, and I'm actually a bit worried about Elazer, who Banelin speed finishing shortly. First Banelin's about to be done. Sport at the front's going to go down. That Queen doesn't die, but is very low as well, so we'll have to be very careful getting re-involved in some of these fights. And this Hatchery just taking damage. We're losing Overlord as well. Feels like Elazer's just not having a great setup right now. Let's see if Clem can really punch through. He's going to have 1-1 over 0-0 for a little while as well, so that should absolutely also make a difference here. Oh, Elazer's going to have a pretty nice round, though, coming in from both sides. Going to make this so much more difficult for Clem, who does have reinforcements showing up. Now has that 1-1-0-0 advantage we were talking about. Pushing in. Queen's creep. Taking some extra damage. The last Queen here actually goes off creep for a second. We're going to go dive forward. We are going to grab it. And that Queen will go down. And now these Zerglings will get picked off as well, so they also get taken down here. He's going to come running through. Marine's still running away down the bottom corner. Tank gets a good shot off, denying a whole bunch of those Banelings. And she's still just putting up some damage as well, really causing some hurt. Time's push continues, but I mean, the supplies is not what it was. You know, at one point he had a decent supply lead. Now he's got some Banes hitting a mineral line that he's just not seeing coming. 9 workers go down in an explosive affair. He has to lift off and evacuate this drop. And the attack of Clem seems to be done. And Elazer, and he caught right back up in upgrades as well. He actually is going to prioritize missiles over the +2 melee, but +2 carapace is going to start up at the same time as Clem's 2-2, so Clem letting that 2-2 advantage slip away a little bit. Not quite as good as it could have been. Trying to still keep active, dropping in the main base. At the same time, we will see Banes over here once again. This time, Clem pulls away and lets the tank eat the damage, so he does survive that one. That's very important to note. Nicely done. Fleming's still hitting that hatchery, gonna load up, try and take those Marines in the main. I mean, Elazer's all over the defense, though, it feels like, on the drops. However, does he have enough army supply to fight the big force that's now showing up? That actually might be a problem, no? That actually is something which could go kind of wrong. Let's see, I mean, big push coming through. There is Banelings here. He probably needs to try and get a bit of a flank set up. He does have Widow Mines, Clem. How did that Widow Mine not fire? I have no idea what it was aiming at, but it just sat there for ages until it died. Dropping the main base cleaned up. Elazer has money to spend, but he doesn't have the lava right now. He will lose this base as well, so that's not going to help with the lava problem. Lift up a good amount of these Marines and take them over here, and doesn't actually unload them, but maybe could have done. Just going to bring them back out and just try and keep them active again. This Banshee still around is now going to fall. It's going to be the end of the Banshee, so unfortunately that will now die. It served its purpose though, for sure. Better mine burrowed up. That's a nice hit on the Lings, but it actually splashes onto the Marines. The second mine hits the Marines as well. Clem still has a pretty hefty army supply lead, but it's moments like that which absolutely could give you a way back into a game as Elazer when you're trailing a bit. Clem could have just lost so much army. He lost a little bit, but not enough to really make that much of a difference, all said and done. Marines loading the bottom one more time. A couple of Banelings there. Burrowed up. Obviously just a small amount of Marines. Don't expect them to be used yet, but Blazorus is a fan of using those burrowed Banelings. Get some vision around the map, helping him to launch some attacks. And gets rid of the one Baneling here. And this base looks as though it's like they die. Okay, new Bane's just finished. Clem actually doesn't have any mines just yet because they're supporting, reinforcing from the sides. Yeah, now you might be able to get these mines set up and actually doing a very good job. One burrowed Baneling actually does go off. So that's actually a nice little touch. Clem unburrows and reburrows this mine. Could get some Banes. Gonna hit the Overseer, which will splash one of the two Banelings that burrowed. Overseer dies, and there's not really much reason to explode that Baneling. Nothing walks over it. Elazer still just has lava issues, and again, that was definitely a problem initially that's then been expanded on due to the fact that we've just not seen him keep bases alive. Losing base after base is only going to make his life more difficult when it comes to being okay in the lava games, so yeah, absolutely is. Kind of just facing the consequences of that. Still attacking here, trying to look good for a W in this game too. Tie up this series. Nightfall still pushing through, Widow Mine setting up, gonna get burrowed, the Banes, the Lings still pressing on in here, a couple of shots going off. Widow Mine's getting to connect. And just seeing that Seismic Spine's on the way up as well, so bringing the Lurk is into play. If Elazer can survive to Lurk, does it buy him enough time to be okay here? It's definitely plausible, it's definitely possible. I wouldn't say it's like straight up a guarantee or anything, right? So something I'm just going to assume is going to be alright, but that's definitely something that could happen. See these Marines fighting, Lings taking some damage, Marines still pressing forward. Trying to fight on in right now is the Banes coming through again, splitting up these Marines, a bunch of the Banelings going down. I mean, Clem just feels like he has way too much. But, again, the Lurkers are here, and Clem now probably has to slow it down to get some ghosts. He's also building a Liberator to help him to hold off the first wave or so of this Lurker-based style. And a couple of Lurkers shoot from afar. Just some random mines left over here, and yeah, getting a few Lings just left from the previous fight, right? Nothing malicious planned from Clem, just they were just leftovers, basically. By own loads, Ela's just gonna GG out. Doesn't even need the ghost and stuff. Ela's just says, I can't defend you, actually dropping around my main defenses. So that is going to be game 2, going Clem's way. We're tied 1-1 now. Welcome you to a third map of this series. Top right-hand side, bringing it back, getting the momentum in his favor a little bit, perhaps. The blue Terran player. From Team Liquid, of course, it is Clem. Bottom left, in the red, it is Elazer. Map 3 of this best of 5 elimination match here. First time we're eliminating someone from the playoffs of this tournament. Of course, we'll be doing a lot more of that tomorrow. Tomorrow we knock it down to, I believe, 4 players remaining for Sunday's games. So yeah, that's Gonna be kind of fun, guys. Gonna be kind of fun. Looking forward to it. Let's go, Clan. I've got a lot riding on this. 400 Wardy points. Please don't fail me. Let's go. All 400 Wardy points, Clan. Please don't feel the pressure too much. This is a regular opening again. I mean, this map is short. Definitely one where Clem could get aggressive on, push heavily on. Against Solo, he actually sat back and played pretty passive on this map because obviously it's limited bases as well. So if you feel like you can take the bases to mine from them, then actually you can do pretty well. Because once you're mining from those bases, the Zerg just struggles to trade well enough into you. And it's so hard for them to outmine you on this map because, again, there's just limited bases, right? So, yeah. Pretty big fan of that. It's just a hatchery. Gas and pool coming down. Nothing too crazy on that regard. Reaper is heading down to the bottom side, so Clem coming across there. Ling speed is on the way through, and a drone moves across, take the third hatch location, get that set up already. As that Reaper just going to come in, and that drone is going to become a spore crawler, so spore on the way for the moment here. Get that up and running. It's a blocked drone. This time he does get the kill, so one spore forced, and now you've also killed a drone. Yeah. Fantastic start from Clem already, just the initial Reaper doing great. 3CC is the established play as well from him, so you will set up for that 3 command center setup, and then go from there. Here's the current plan. Again, a few more shots on that Reaper, just keeping it pinned back a little bit here. Keeping it a little bit busy for the moment. We've been hoping around, seeing if there's anything else. Obviously, this time I think the Reaper should live to see the aliens join up with it, as he really wants to threaten the idea of going forward. I really would have been surprised if he probably tried to dive in there. That just would not really make sense, right? Yeah, that would have been kind of crazy. Stop up. Gonna lift off. Swap on over to a tech lab. Barracks can move off to the side as well. Banshee already on the way. A couple of Hellions coming through. A little grenade. Pop that Queen a little bit as well. Again, just Hellions the Reaper actually getting aggressive, but getting caught pretty quickly, so not really being able to be all that successful straight away. Reaper Hellion will be a little sad about that, but nothing really much you can do about it, huh? Aliens are gonna be hopping around. So as the reinforcing Hellions come up, see if they can get much done. As you gather together a little bit, that Laz on the way. 8 drones in production as well, so a lot of drones on the way out as our stim pack continues through for the moment as well. Banshee, let's grab a drone, does get a kill as well, so again, just a little bit of damage. I mean, really not too much to be excited about. Elazer's playing pretty standard. Clem's getting the Banshees up into the engineering base. For the moment, we just sit and wait, see if Clem can continue to deny the creep spread. That's one of the main things that we're seeing right now, that creep spread denial. Is obviously a huge opportunity, so let's keep that back as much as possible. Now Banshee gonna get cloaked up. Queen's gonna start taking some damage, and the rest of the Hellions are gonna come around the left side as well, try and see what they can do. Put punches together, gonna grab one drone pretty much straight away. He's just gonna nab that, get rid of it. Again, it's not a lot of damage being done. It's just a little bit here, a little bit there. Well, this is a lot of dead Hellions, no? Actually gonna find the mineral line a little bit. 6 drones dead. A few of the Hellions still alive. Not enough to get more than that. He traded out with a decent amount of lings, but yeah, Banshees are again the extra drone or two that you're currently seeing down as you watch these lings chase down the final Hellion. This one Banshee is still going huge. 16 kills. Doesn't find number 17. Obviously, not all of those were the Banshees. That was comboed with the Hellion run by, but just adding up to that amount of kills is obviously pretty serious business in the first place. Queen still sat at the front there. We wait again for the next few moments and just figure out what again is going to be happening next as Clem is going to start pushing. I mean, this is a question of did Elazer lose too much in that little run by? Did he lose too many drones to survive this attack? Well, Clem doesn't have 1-1 yet or combat shield, so at the moment doesn't feel too crazy and doesn't feel as though he should be able to overwhelm too heavily anyways. That so far has remained to be the case. Marines get off to the upper left-hand side, just gonna sit there and wait around a little bit. And back heads down to the south. I'm just gonna be seeing a few Marines trying to poke forward, but I mean, there's their combat shields at least, so they're not naked on the defense as much anymore. So actually, maybe they can do okay here as they continue to fight against these queens. Wouldn't mind drop at the same time. This is where Elazer. Oh, he does pay attention last moment. Finds 10 kills still, just a little bit. Too little splitting going on, and once again Clem is starting to run away with this game, making this look very akin to game number 1, where he just has got a little bit too much going in his favor, and Elazer is struggling to spend all his money, struggling to inject properly. Little Bane run by is a great idea, but I mean, what, it's gonna be slowed down by a Widow Mine. Clem now knows, and I'm sure you'll be able to deal with this without too many issues. This little drop over here is finding extra work. He's gonna get Widow Mines burrowed up in this position. These Banelings did nothing. These Widow Mines even going to unburrow, reburrow as the 5th hatchery is looking to die. And Clem doesn't quite finish it off. He gets a few lings. He's going to unload. He just wants to target down the hatchery, I believe. Gets it, loads back in. Maybe cost him a few more Marines than expected, but I think he's kind of okay with it. Don't think he'll be all too upset. This last little drop going in. These Banelings finally turn back around, and this time, Clem's not paying attention. Now Elazer finds some damage. 12 SCVs die. I mean, Clem still has a 10 worker lead in the game as one low HP medevac unfortunately falls. This Ling's going to show up to the top and start to chase those SCVs down. Marines getting here to try and fight the Lings and clean them up a little bit, push them away. SCV's dead, but it's just not enough to bring you back in it. That's just how far ahead Clem is. And that is obviously a major part of the problem right now. And it's definitely problematic, no doubt about it. So, yeah, Elazer's just not having a good time here. Clem looking to take a 2-1 lead, and obviously from there is in good control of this best of 5. That said, this is one of the more tyranny maps. I believe Tropical Sacrifice is next, so a bit more of a macro-focused map that Elazer could maybe try and stay alive on. And as these Lings do come running through, cleaning up a lot of these mines and everything else as they go. And there's a drop on the bottom side, though, that there's just no answer to, and apparently that's going to cost you your Baneling Nest. How many Banes are currently on the map? 19. Not a bad count, but obviously you've got to rebuild them. Nice target fight. Gets rid of all those Banelings. Oh my goodness. Now Clem's just going to split. The Marauder tanks a couple. The other ones don't really do much, and yeah, this attack's just not getting cleaned out at all. Disaster for Elazer as Clem takes a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. Alrighty guys, on the top right hand side of the map it is going to be the red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem. Taking on the blue Zerg in the bottom left-hand side, it is going to be Team Liquid's Elazer. He's down a map here on Tropical Sacrifice. His map pick for map 4. We'll see if it's enough to help him out and take him through to a W. SA obviously kind of needs to get to 2 in a row, and he looked good in that first game, but obviously that was very much so Clem's build, put him in a horrible spot. In the games Clem has opened more regularly, Elazer has just struggled to really get things going in the first place, and just to, you know, he's floating money, he doesn't seem to have the love that he needs. He's having a pretty tough time of it, so hopefully that's something we can see him fix up a bit. Else this might just continue to be a little bit rough for him. SCV coming across the map to start the game. Scout from Clem, because he does just go Reaper Expand. Nothing wild from Clem's side of things, right? Just Reaper Expand, get going, get set up, see what we can do. Is coming across the map then from Clem. It's going to come through and deal some damage here. Feelings continue to take some hits. Taking a few more shots, obviously this dance begins, and find herself 2 lings already. I mean, better than a drone, which was found last time. I mean, that was already fantastic for Clem. Get a drone kill off of a Reaper. Of course, a Spore Crawler too, right? So, last game was already just at the very start. Clem. But Elazer would very much so like to try and avoid that being the case here this time around, as grenade goes down. Creep Team is still taking some shots. This Reaper just comes up the left-hand side, gonna hit the hatchery a little bit, deal a little bit of damage over here. Nothing too crazy as we continue to get this all nicely set up for the moment. Worth knowing, again, just Clem, 3cc pretty early in the game. He's continuing to just play this 3cc style, and Elazer's not really doing anything to punish that at all. Maybe Clem switches it up for the final game if it does go to a game 5, and that's when he maybe tries to catch Elazer, trying to punish him for being greedy on a map that's pretty good for Terran anyway, right? So, yeah, game ahead, and he's going to get away with it one more time, at least for the moment. As this Reaper jumps into the main base, grenade pops a drone off to the side. We do get ourselves Reaper actually grabbing a drone kill. That's not really meant to happen at this point. Seriously. Well, Hellions coming through. Drone's taking some damage. 4 workers going down. Oh, man. This is a horrible start for Elazer, guys. He's lucky to not lose drone 5 there because of some regenning HP. I mean, he's very lucky. 4 drones. I mean, look at it. 4 drones, 2 lings. It's not crazy in resources lost, but it's just such early drones to be losing. That's the problem. The earlier you lose these drones, the more of an impact it has on your game, and he's losing them so early on. You force another Spore Crawler here. Clem is building a Raven, by the way, too. That's a little bit of something else that's going on. The Raven, very fun for moving around at 9, a lot of creep spread. Some auto turrets can help you trade with the Queens a lot as well, so Hellions and auto turrets can do very well. Something else to watch for. As our Raven comes out through the sides, it's going to start moving forward again. He's just joining up. The Raven goes all the way out to the far left, so already coming around over there. It's going to just auto turret the mineral line. There's a Spore here, though, so taking a little bit of unnecessary damage, and because he didn't automatically drop the auto turret immediately, it feels like he could have had maybe an extra drone or so. It doesn't matter too much. The Queens would have just taken a bit longer to respond is all. Oh, the Hellions are through into the main base. There's 22 lings in production, but they're not ready yet. 2 more Queens on the high ground, but that does not protect this main mineral line as the drones are just running and hoping and praying they can get out of here alive. It does not look good at all right now for Elazer, as this could just be game-ending damage. Auto turret is back. 20 workers are going to be on the kill counter on the left side of your screen. There's Lings dying with this as well, so Clem is also slowing down some of that army of Elazer. And Clem has a 12 worker lead coming out of this. Obviously, Elazer with a bunch of drones on the way, but heavily slowed down from where he wants to be. Clem needs to just, I was going to say, go back and get his +1 armor because he does have double engineering bay, but he starts that too. Clem is looking golden for game number 4 and to perhaps keep alive in this WardiTV Summer Championship. One still coming through. The Marines and the medevac hanging out. The Raven is going to move into the third base. Get itself repaired. A single Ling is like, no, you shall not repair the Raven. That Ling actually gets an SCV. That's pretty cute. You got to take any win you can get right now as Elazer. And one SCV dying to a Ling, that's a win, right? Anything right now. You take anything that's given to you. Of course you do. You have to, right? You have to. Medevacs are on their way across here, heading down. It's going to get in position straight away. Clem doesn't have +1 just yet, doesn't have combat shields just yet, so might want to be a little careful here. He'll have +1 now, but still without the combat shields, these Marines going to be a little bit vulnerable. Oh my goodness. SCV disaster over on this side as he does lose 20 to the Baneling run by. That's a full mineral line wipe from Elazer. Hey, talk about getting some damage when you need it the most. Elazer taking some steps back in this game. He was heavily behind, but now somewhat playable. Still struggling when it comes to army supply, I think, is the problem. Right, like his current standing army is just not as good as it should really be. Clem, okay, got really greedy. Just kept on going for the target fire. Didn't lift those units. And then he actually loses a Clem and Marine. So, you know, I'm like, oh, Elazer might have some army supply issues. Well, it doesn't matter if you just lose your army as Clem, right? So, yeah, Clem is not having a good couple of moments. And all of a sudden, it's Elazer who is definitely, like I say, not winning the game, but taking some good steps back into the game after it's been a little bit rough for the time prior to this. More Bane showing up, but there's not even really resaturation on this base from Clem. How do he was already pulling the SCVs away, been plenty of time. I feel like it might have been the case, actually. Let's cancel on this hatchery over here. The Marines going to continue through for the Ling Bane. And you just have a decent tank spot on that low ground. Allows you to kind of work up toward the high ground as well, so that's what Clem currently focuses on. As these Banelings all joining up together and setting themselves straight. Just going to have our Lings running across this right-hand side. Going to get in over here. Going to grab themselves a surround. Those Marines will die. And Elazer denying the 4th base for a little while. So again, a victory there. But overall supply is still heavily in Clem's favor. Elazer, that's on a few extra drones. Lava is again, I think, becoming the issue for him here. As Clem's going to start splitting. He's off creep now, so he can probably turn and fight these Banes to some extent. But there's a lot of Lings as well. Yeah, I think it might now be time to just lift up and cut your losses. One tank over here kind of left behind, and one reinforcing tank kind of walks into this. Unfortunately, well, actually, this reinforcing tank might not do so bad. It actually ends up sieging into the fight and does catch a clump of Banelings, so it does pretty well for itself, all things considered, compared to what you might have expected to have happened there. Have you seen our Lings running into the Marines? That's not a good fight at all. GG from Elazer. That was very much so a fight that's like, you know, this is like my last chance and I know it, right? So, very much so played like that there, as that is going to do it. And Clem gets the 3-1 victory, survives to play tomorrow, where we'll